Next on Good Morning Arizona, dozens of bus routes disrupted as nearly 1,000 of drivers go on strike. How it's affecting everyone in the valley.
Plus, still no relief at the pump. Gas prices continue to inch upwards.
And finally, Peyton Manning. Yes, he's arrived in Arizona, but still, we have not seen him. It's all straight ahead on Good Morning Arizona.
What are we going to have? We're going to have Peyton Manning sightings?
We are on Peyton Manning watch. Where in the world is Peyton? It's taken over Waldo.
That's funny. Okay, so if you're out there, you see him, take a picture, shoot it to us. We'll talk about it this morning.
There you go.
How perfect is that?
Welcome back, by the way.
Thank you.
Mr. Sickly, Mr. Pinky.
I know, not feeling good, and I see the gas prices haven't changed, except they've gone up.
You're feeling better, though. What were you dealing with at home?
Conjunctivitis.
Pink eye.
Conjunctivitis, which is the scientific term apparently for pink eye.
Not just one eye, but double.
I'll tell you what, though. You know, my son had it first, and at 8 years old, flew right past it. Didn't even faze him. I get it. Knocks me out for 5 days. Awful, awful, awful.
Wimp.
Do not wish it upon anybody out there. It's just an awful experience.
I know. Well, it's looking better, but I see you're a little swollen in your eyes, but I'm glad you're feeling
Still
better.
swollen, yeah.
Welcome back.
Thank
Good
you.
to have you back.
Thanks.
And we have a great show ahead for you. We'll get to the day's top stories as well in just a moment, including, of course, the bus strike, which at this point, more bus drivers overnight went on strike. So we'll have the latest on that. But first, a quick check of how the forecast is shaping up on this beautiful Sunday. Good morning, Brittany.
Good morning, Tess. We're live this morning at the Phoenix Art Museum, and you can take a look behind me. This is a really popular exhibit, the Frank Lloyd Wright exhibit. And one thing that's really cool that they're doing this weekend is the Devoured Food Festival. So lots of local restaurants and top chefs are going to be out here today. It started yesterday, but you can still make it out today. And really, it's the perfect combination because temperatures are going to be so nice. So they have the food portion of it outside, and then they also have a nice exhibit inside, so you can take your choice there. Let's take a look at how your day is going to break down. Temperatures today going to warm into the 70s by noon, and then we'll see a high of 80 degrees. So a beautiful Sunday on tap for us. A little bit warmer today than what we saw yesterday. So we do have a nice warm up. We'll stay in the 80s even as we head into next week. So if you're looking for something to do, a nice way to spend your Sunday, coming out to Devoured, and that's at the Phoenix Art Museum. We'll have more details on that coming up in just a bit. Tess and Ryan.
All right. Thank you,
Thanks,
Brittany. And now on to our top story. It is day 2 of the strike of nearly 1,000 bus drivers now in the valley.
Yeah, dozens of routes have been disrupted, affecting thousands of bus riders out there across the valley. Bus operators from both Phoenix and Tempe went on strike at midnight yesterday after failed contract negotiations between the union and Viola Transportation. One major sticking point in all this is the disagreement that has to deal with sick time accrual. Well, talks aren't scheduled to resume for another 2 weeks, which means bus riders have to wait a very long time before they can get to their destination.
And I've been waiting a good, 45 minutes? You know, these guys have been here for almost an hour and a half now. It's ridiculous. You know, we got a class. Some of us got to go to work. Some of us got to go see our families.
I'm calling on both sides today as mayor of the city. Get back to the bargaining table. Even over this weekend, get back together. You owe it to the people of this city.
While most routes saw some operation yesterday, it was only about 25% of normal service. Now, to find out how your route is affected, you can go to azfamily.com where we've posted information for you.
A busy Valley intersection back open this morning after a major car wreck that sent 4 people to the hospital. It happened in West Phoenix near 45th Avenue in Northern last night. Police say a car was trying to avoid another vehicle and jump the curb. The car ended up hitting 5 people, including a 12-year-old child. 4 of those folks were taken to the hospital. The good news is they are expected to be okay. This morning, we're learning the name of the woman who was hit and killed by a pickup truck in Scottsdale. It happened early yesterday morning near Scottsdale Road in Osborne. Police say 69-year-old Judith May, who's from Santa Cruz, California, was in the crosswalk when the driver of a Chevy made a left turn and ran right into her. Officers say the driver was not under the influence, but no word yet if any charges will be filed.
He's finally here. We're not talking about the Pope, although pretty darn close for most people out there, especially football fans. Peyton Manning. Manning fever has swept Arizona, and now the NFL star has made a stop in the Valley while checking out potential new teams. Cardinals fans waited all day yesterday for Peyton Manning to arrive in Phoenix from Denver. According to the Arizona Republic, the former Colts quarterback finally landed last night. Well, Manning will be meeting with team officials today, touring the Cardinals' facilities. You know, Arizona is competing with Denver Broncos and the Miami Dolphins for Peyton Manning. Tim Ring will actually have more on the Manning watch coming up in sports.
Okay, cue the groans, the sigh, what Ryan is back for, to hear about gas prices. Yes, they're back on the rise once again this weekend. The national average for a gallon of unleaded went up another penny overnight to $3.79. But drivers here in Arizona, as you guys know, unfortunately, we're paying more than that. The state average right now is $3.84. In Phoenix, even more at $3.88. It's that much as well in the East Valley, while drivers in the West Valley are paying $3.87.
And to this mess you up this morning, just a reminder out there, folks, the time is 7:06, right on the money right here, not 8:06. Today begins daylight savings time for everybody else in the country, except for Arizona. While everybody else is moving their clock forward up 1 hour, our time remains unchanged. That means we're now on Pacific time, no longer Mountain time. Daylight savings time dates back to World War I. But check this out. Arizona, Hawaii, the U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and the American Samoas are the only places in the U.S. that do not observe daylight savings time.
Good to know.
Did it mess you up this morning?
No.
It did me.
I think being here for so long, you realize. Why did it mess you up?
Because my iPhone switched, but my clock, the docking station, didn't. So I had two different times, and I wasn't sure what time it was.
Well, we're glad you made it on time.
Freak moment, you know, when you wake up.
All right, spring almost here, and that means spring cleaning for a lot of us. But it's not just our homes getting some extra TLC this year. Cosmo Salon in Mesa is putting on a spring spruce up makeover contest for several lucky Good Morning Arizona viewers. In just a moment here, we're going to have some stuff on my Facebook page. If you go on there, facebook.com/Tess Raffles, we'll have a link to the contest. We've been doing this for about a year now. Every few months, we choose some lucky viewers. Well, Cosmos will choose some lucky viewers. Why you deserve a spring spruce up. They're looking for guys and girls, or you can nominate somebody, and you'll get to appear here on the weekend show in the next coming weeks.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, we did. The last group was we had what, a bunch of elderly women. Is that right? Senior citizens.
Don't say elderly.
Senior
it was
citizens?
sensational at 60.
Sensational at 60. You're right.
60 is like the new 50.
I am sorry. I'm gonna catch. I know. I am gonna catch it for that one.
Stay with us, folks. We are just getting started here on Good Morning Arizona on this Sunday.
Yep, coming up here. Get your pencils out. March Madness is just around the corner, and today the brackets come out.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. March Madness here. Also ahead in our 7 a.m. hour, more on Manning Mania sweeping the valley. What Larry Fitzgerald has to say about the former Colts QB possibly joining the Cards.
Also, we've got to look at the events coming up this week, including a number of local elections coming up on Tuesday.
And it's National Craft Month, so we'll be talking ideas and fun craft projects you can do with the kids.
Yep, Brittany will be back with your look at your weekend forecast when we come back. Good Morning Arizona. Be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. It is 7:11 from the CNN News Desk this morning, a somber remembrance in Japan today. It is the one-year anniversary of that massive earthquake and tsunami that devastated the country. A moment of silence was held this morning at the exact time the quake hit. Ceremonies and prayers are being held in cities and towns throughout the country. And Japan's Prime Minister offered his condolences to the families of the victims. More than 19,000 people died on this day a year ago. Here at home, the race for the GOP presidential nomination, well, it's still split. Rick Santorum yesterday won the Kansas caucus, while Mitt Romney racked up victories in Wyoming, Guam, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and the Northern Mariana Islands. Romney still has a lead in the delegate count, but there are plenty of state primaries still left. The next ones will be held in Alabama and Mississippi on Tuesday. In Oregon, a massive search is underway at this hour for 4 missing fishermen. Their boat went missing off the Washington coast early yesterday. The Coast Guard picked up a distress beacon signal from that fishing boat, and it led to a debris field where they found a damaged, empty lifeboat. The Coast Guard has dispatched 2 helicopters, a C-130 search aircraft, and a number of crews to help find the men. A freak accident on the slopes has claimed the life of a Canadian racer. Nick Zurisic died from head injuries yesterday after he crashed at a World Cup ski cross event in Switzerland. He was finishing the 8th round when he fell and slammed right into safety netting. Organizers canceled the entire event after the accident, including today's scheduled World Cup final. Tonight, folks will be able to catch Oprah's sit-down interview with the family of the late Whitney Houston. That TV special will feature Houston's daughter, Bobby Christina, and Houston's sister-in-law, Patricia. The singer's family will talk to Oprah about the circumstances surrounding the singer's untimely death and the events that happened that day. The special airs tonight on the OWN network. 7:13 is the time right now. We want to check in with Brittany, who right now is showing us the art, but soon she'll be devoured by plenty of food. Good morning, Brittany.
Good morning. That is a perfect combination, isn't it? A little bit of art and food. And that's what you can find if you come out today to the Phoenix Art Museum for their Devoured Festival, which brings some of the top chefs and restaurants together. It's out there on the patio. There's also wine, and then you can come inside and check out a few of their art exhibits. So we are in the Frank Lloyd Wright exhibit. We want to bring in Jim Ballinger right now. He's the director of the Phoenix Art Museum. And this has to be a really popular exhibit for you guys.
Oh, it's been terrific. Frank Lloyd Wright was maybe the greatest artist ever to live in Arizona. A great way to celebrate the centennial. So it shows up through April. Please come down and see us.
All right, yeah. Today would be a great day to come out too because they're doing that festival. Now, what are some of your favorite pieces in here?
Well, 2 or 3. Number one is we restored a model for the new 1957 state capitol building, which Wright didn't like the look of our state capitol, so pro bono he did this whole thing. We have all the drawings and this restored model, which people have really enjoyed seeing again during this centennial year. We have the original plans for Taliesin West. If people haven't visited Taliesin West in Scottsdale, you should. And 2 houses kind of opposite ends. We have a very small, what would have been called Usonian house, just a 1,500 square foot house on the west side that was designed for Ray Carlson, who at the time in 1950 was the publisher of Arizona Highways. So it has a lot of Arizona connections to it. And interesting, Wright's always thought of with these great big, extravagant things. He spent a great deal of his career trying to create affordable housing for, I'll say, normal people. We also have the Price Shown U-Haul house up on Tatum, which is a real, spectacular, also 1950s, very large 6-bedroom property up north of Paradise Valley Country Club.
So you have some really great pieces for people to check out. This is a must-see.
Absolutely. We have this. We also have a show up with, you mentioned Devoured, The Land Grew Quiet, which is a show done by an artist here that grew up on a farm on the west side, and it's really about how their land has been transformed from farmland, even though they still farm part of it, into development areas. So very appropriate for Devoured, which is one of the most fun weekends we have at the Art Museum.
You know what it is? It's one of the best food festivals that it happens throughout the valley as well. So we've been coming out here for the past couple of years, and it's one that I really enjoy as well. Let's go ahead and get a look at your weather. Temperatures today going to be a little bit warmer for your Sunday than they were yesterday, 51 degrees. And then we are going to see temperatures. They'll continue to climb as we head into next week. So we'll head into the low 80s and pretty much stay there for most of your work week. It's going to be a really nice day for your Sunday. Plenty of sunshine expected. We'll see high pressure rebuilding in our area. And that's after that area of low pressure that kicked up our winds and really cooled us down last week continues to move off to the northeast. It was hanging around New Mexico, even bringing more rainfall and snowfall to far eastern Arizona and the higher elevations, and now it's going to go ahead and push away, and high pressure is going to rebuild. So we'll see some nice highs around the state today. 77 degrees in Bullhead City, 53 in Flagstaff, 57 the high today at the Grand Canyon, 68 in Globe. And in Kingman, Stafford at 71 degrees, mid-60s for Winslow. And then take a look at your 7-day forecast. We are going to see that little bit of a warm up today. Yesterday we stayed in the low 70s, and now we'll head to 80 degrees for your Sunday. By next week, low 80s for us. And then as we head into the end of your work week, by next weekend we'll drop back down into the 70s with a few clouds moving into the forecast. So back out here live at the Phoenix Art Museum. This is what we were talking about earlier. This is the Arizona State Capitol. He titled it Oasis. Is there a chance we could demolish the old Capitol and maybe build this one?
Well, additionally, the reason it was called Oasis, he designed it also, he felt it should be in Papago Park. Oh, wow. So over where the Botanical Garden and the zoo are, and be in a real desert environment. And you see these 2 layers almost of shade screening on a very large building when the scale comes together with the House and Senate there. So it all takes into consideration our location, and if he shoots back from the backside, you see a huge gathering place inside with big water fountains internally. So it was meant to really be an oasis in the desert and celebrate the desert, which in many ways for a lot of years now our buildings here have not. But now architects are really starting to pay attention through the sustainability movement and with green architecture. So a layer of this show and the interpretation is based all around that. And one of the most fun things about this model, I just have to mention, is the fellow who restored it got into this so deeply that he went on eBay and he found 50 people who were dressed in 1950s clothing. So just
That's
to know
perfect.
the accuracy of the Phoenix Art Museum.
Very accurate. And the thing that's great too, it's nice to dream. You can come out here, check this out for yourself, and just maybe imagine what it would be like if it was actually built. So Devour, it takes place today, starts at 11 a.m. We have all the information on our website at azfamily.com.
Well, good morning, everybody. He's here. If you see Peyton Manning on the streets this morning, give him a hug and tell him that we'd like him to play football for the Arizona Cardinals. Manning arrived in the Valley last night. Somehow, some way he got by, everybody trying to track all the private jets, including 3TV, from Denver to the Phoenix area. But Manning got in, according to the Arizona Republic last night. He met with Ken Wisenhunt last night. We'll continue to meet with the Cardinals, we presume, on Sunday, maybe get a tour of the facility today. So Larry Fitzgerald yesterday, big crowd at the facility for Kurt Warner's football fundraiser, the flag football game. Fitz knows darn well how important Peyton Manning would be to the Arizona Cardinals.
I mean, he's a four-time MVP, Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, you know, one of the greatest to ever play the game. And, you know, he would do tremendous things not only for our team but for his community. You know, you saw what he's done in Indianapolis with Children's Hospital and countless other endeavors that he has going. I mean, he's a franchise quarterback, you know, but, you know, it's still a lot of work to be done. And, you know, I hate to speculate on, you know, what could or what couldn't happen. You know, I think John and Kevin both made good strides for us last year, and, you know, whoever's throwing it, I'm hopefully going to be on the receiving end of it. I haven't talked to Peyton, so I really don't know what his, what's important to him. Obviously, I know winning, and that's the first and foremost. But, you know, from offensive styles to personnel, I don't know. I'm not a good person to answer that. I think that's a better question for Peyton. No, I just know him in passing. It's not like I don't have his phone number or anything like that. But, you know, if I saw him, he walked by, you know, I would know who he is. He would probably know who I was, and we would speak. Yeah.
All right, there you go. Now, Manning again will meet with the Cardinals today and then fly back to Miami. Presumably, he will meet with the Dolphins. And reports say Peyton Manning wants to make a decision perhaps as early as Tuesday on where he will play football in 2012. Have a great Sunday morning, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Like Tim says, if you see him, give him a big old hug for us. The Phoenix Coyotes had a big game last night. The home team facing off with the San Jose Sharks. The Oaks trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. And they came through big time last night with the Coyotes striking first in the second period. Then later, Michael Stone gets his first career NHL goal to make it 2-0. Torres also scores. The Coyotes defeat the Sharks 3-0. It was also a great night for our Phoenix Suns. Going head-to-head with the Memphis Grizzlies, Steve Nash and the gang had things tied up in the third quarter. Nash passes across the court to Dudley. Dudley gets it up the drives baseline for the layup there and the lead. Then in the fourth, the Suns up 10, but Marc Gasol would keep the Grizzlies in striking range, throwing it down right there with two hands. Then with under 3 minutes left in the game, Nash drives, stop on a dime, hits the fadeaway. The Suns go on to win this one 98-91. While the office pools are getting ready, March Madness is only 2 days away, and now college basketball fans gearing up for the next 3 awesome weeks. Today is Selection Sunday. The day brackets come out, and folks can actually start to begin to rank their teams from their top 64 choices all the way down to the Sweet 16, the Elite 8, Final 4, and their top 2 contenders. Now, the last 2 teams will duke it out for the national championship on April 2nd.
I know. Do you get crazy about March Madness?
A little bit. I don't get too crazy, but
you don't take time off and just sit with
Vic?
friends all day long.
Does Vic take time off?
Not usually, but he is this week. For
I know a lot of people do.
Yeah. So I know they do.
I usually don't get into it till about the Sweet 16 Elite 8.
Yeah. I heard the best story one time. I hope we have time for a quick story. I was covering all the March Madness, and I went to Marley's at one of the restaurant bars.
Sure.
And there was a guy who said, please don't show me, please don't show me. And I was like, what's wrong? And he's like, my wife thinks I'm at work. And I said, okay. And he's like, yeah, I've been doing this for 10 years. She doesn't know. I said, 10 years? He's like, yeah, every year I just tell. And I'm like, how do you explain that? He's like, well, he was dressed in a suit.
Right.
And he said, I go, and she thinks I go to work. And then I always say I'm going to meet up with friends after work. So, you know, if I've had a little too much to drink and she's wondering why I don't, you know, I'm a little disheveled.
And here you are showing up in the camera.
Well, we purposely didn't show him. But
that's funny.
Anyways, don't lie to the ladies.
And watch out for testing the camera, too, if you are lying.
Still much more to come here on Good Morning Arizona. Why time is running out to pick out some Girl Scout cookies. Uh-oh.
Plus, a luau arrives to the valley. We've got details on the Aloha Festival happening right here in Tempe.
Welcome back, everyone. 2 Phoenix police officers getting top honors this week, and that's just one of the many things we'll be following in the week ahead. Officers Nick Patatsis and James Spross will be recognized by the National Association of Police Officers tomorrow in Washington, D.C. The officers were both hurt in a shootout with a suspect last August. New help for Valley residents looking to buy a home. Tomorrow, Phoenix Mayor Greg Stanton expected to announce a new collaboration between the City of Phoenix and Wells Fargo Bank. The deal gives $8 million in down payment assistance for Phoenix residents. Tuesday is Election Day, and several Valley cities and towns will be holding primary elections. Now, those include Buckeye, Fountain Hills, Gila Bend, Litchfield Park, Paradise Valley, Queen Creek, and Tempe. The city of Scottsdale will also be holding a special election this coming Tuesday. And Arizona Governor Jan Brewer will get pinned by the Girl Scouts. It's part of the Girl Scouts' 100th anniversary reception taking place at lunchtime tomorrow. That's at the Old State Senate Chambers.
Arizona is rich in history, including from the Civil War, and that history came alive at the Picacho Peak State Park yesterday. Hundreds of enthusiasts reenacted the westernmost conflict of the war. Visitors from all over the country came out there to experience 3 historic reenactments: the Battle of Picacho Pass, the battles of Glorieta, and Valverde in New Mexico. Now, folks got to watch and experience what life was like for a Civil War soldier. Now, if you happen to miss that and would like to see some of it, the reenactment picks back up again later today. All the fun and traditions of Hawaii and the Pacific Islands have arrived right here in the Valley this weekend. The Aloha Festival has danced into downtown Tempe. It's a celebration of Hawaiian culture featuring music, entertainment, island crafts, and more for the entire family. And best of all, it is absolutely free.
To help educate people about the cultures of Polynesia. We want people to understand that we are unique and different from one another, but we are Polynesians, and we're all proud to be them.
The festival began yesterday, but if you missed it, you can enjoy the Hawaiian culture again today. The event starts back up here in a couple of hours and goes all the way till 5 p.m. in downtown Tempe.
Yep.
How fun.
It looks like a lot of fun.
It does look like a lot of fun. All right. If you have yet to get your Girl Scout cookies, you better do it fast.
That's right. Time's running out because today is the last day of cookie sales for most of Arizona. After today, you won't be able to order or buy any of these delicious goodies from the Girl Scouts until next year. Now, maybe you've already had enough. Don't think that's possible. But if you had, think about buying a box and donating it to a local charity through their Gift of Caring program. So to find where they are selling the yummy cookies near you, we have a link on our website. Just go to azfamily.com.
Ours are already gone.
Yeah, we went through ours pretty fast. I think I ended up buying them twice.
That's good, though.
Yeah.
You're supporting the
Absolutely.
Girl Scouts, yeah. Still ahead here on Good Morning Arizona. Police need your help this morning tracking down an 11-year-old girl who ran away from home. Details on that is coming up.
Plus, sheriff's deputies discover 16 dead birds at a cockfighting ring in Phoenix. What led to the bust when we come back?
Yep, and Brittany has your weekend forecast when we come back. Look at that nice little 51 degrees outside. Another gorgeous weekend day. Except for that. Good Morning Arizona. We'll be right back. I know it's not mine, but I see Good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a great start to your Sunday here. Expecting to be another wonderful Sunday afternoon. Yesterday was gorgeous outside.
It's been absolutely beautiful. We were at the park yesterday afternoon, and it was just perfect. You didn't want to leave.
No.
Nice, even almost like a slight breeze, too, with the sun out.
It was perfect.
Before we get to the day's top stories, let's check with Brittany Chip on what we can expect today. Finally, I was going to say, you're not going to be indoors the whole time. It's too nice to be indoors. Now you're outdoors there at the Phoenix Art Museum.
I am at the Phoenix Art Museum. We're in the Dorrance Sculpture Garden, and this is where it's all going to take place today, Devoured. My mouth is already watering just looking at some of the pictures of some of the restaurants that are going to be here. So it starts at 11 a.m., and we're just previewing it this morning. So hopefully they have a little snack set up for us. And we'll take a look at your 3-day forecast. Temperatures today warming into the 80s. Heading into next week, we'll be in the low 80s, and that's a little bit warmer than what we saw yesterday. We stayed in the low 70s. So a beautiful weekend. I mean, it is picture perfect out here. This is a great combination. You can come outdoors. You can also head indoors and check out some of their art exhibits. Frank Lloyd Wright is here. I know that's a popular draw for many folks out there. And then let's just briefly talk about daylight savings time and how my BlackBerry again updated to mountain time. It does it on its own when I fly back into town, and so I got up an hour early. Did that happen to you guys or just me?
This happens to you every year, Brittany.
That's what I said, every single year.
I just said that. I said again?
Again, it's happened to me every year for about 5 years. I
Have
never
you not
realized
learned?
it does it on its own when I fly. You know, if you fly to LA here, the BlackBerry will update it to mountain time. And then I get up and I get ready, and then I finally realize I'm an hour early.
There's no other clocks to look at the house to,
Hey, no. It messed me up today, too.
Okay, thank you, Ryan.
I get it. I'm with you, Britt.
Thank you.
My clocks were all off, and some were right, some were wrong. I get it.
But you know what? It doesn't matter, Brittany. You're on time. You're here.
At least I'm on time and not an hour late.
Exactly.
That's the good thing about when we spring
That's
ahead.
true.
Hey, we did get a call into the assignment desk, and John Roller said, one of our callers said, only the Navajo Nation observes daylight savings time, so they actually spring ahead for spring, and that's the only place in Arizona that does observe it.
Okay.
So that's kind of a fun fact there this morning.
Now we know. I did not know that.
Now we know.
Thank you to our viewer who called in. We'll see you in a bit, Brittany. Our time right now is 7:35. Thousands of bus riders facing delays or facing change of plans this weekend, unfortunately, after operators went on strike. Drivers from Phoenix went on strike at midnight yesterday. Tempe operators joined the picket lines midnight last night after failed contract negotiations between the union and Veolia Transportation. Talks are not scheduled to resume for another 2 weeks, which means bus riders have to wait a very long time to get to their destinations. Routes were only at about 25% of normal service yesterday. To find out how your route is affected, we have a link at azfamily.com.
There's a missing 11-year-old out there, and Peoria police are hoping that you'll keep an eye out for her. Her name is Jalen Carter. She's a white girl here that you see here, blonde hair, blue eyes, about 5 foot tall, 80 pounds. Now, she was last seen wearing a pink and white colored sweater and blue jean capris. Police believe Carter ran away and isn't considered a danger to herself, but because of her age, at 11 years old, they would like to see her found and brought back home. Now, if you happen to see her, you are urged to call the Peoria police.
After several months, an investigation lands a Phoenix man in jail for the death of his own little boy. Luis Sanchez is behind bars this morning for killing his 2-year-old son, Sal. Sanchez told police in September when his son died that the boy had fallen down the stairs. Sal was transported to the hospital, but sadly never made it. After getting new information, police questioned Sanchez again this week. That's when they learned he allegedly hit his son several times before he died.
The autopsy revealed that there weren't any injuries consistent with a fall down the stairs that would have caused this 2-year-old boy's death.
Sanchez actually has a history of domestic violence. He's now charged with first-degree murder.
Dozens of people land behind bars after sheriff's deputies busted a cockfighting ring in Phoenix. It happened near 6th Avenue and Lower Buckeye yesterday. We're told deputies got a tip and then they kept a watch on the house. Well, when they got there with their search warrant, they found a cockfighting ring in progress in the backyard of this house. As deputies searched the property, found 16 birds that were already dead. Deputies also found cocaine at the house as well. A Phoenix man has been arrested for pointing a laser at a helicopter crew. The chopper pilot was actually able to direct officers to Mario Michael's home where they arrested him. They say he confessed, even admitted he knew the laser could blind the pilot. Michael faces a string of charges, including 2 counts of endangerment.
Right now it is 7:38. Throughout the morning, of course, we're always chatting with you, whether it's on Facebook or Twitter. And this morning, just right before the show, I was having a little fun and showing you behind the scenes, now that Ryan is back, what we do here on the set right before the show, in between commercial breaks.
Which apparently isn't a whole lot, is it?
So log on, take a look at a couple of pictures we posted, and get a closer glimpse of what happens behind the scenes.
Yeah, give us a comment. Also, we're on the Manning Watch. If you happen to see him, take a picture, shoot it to us, let us know. Let everybody know. This is Peyton Manning, possibly our next quarterback for the Cardinals. If he chooses, give him a hug, give him flowers, give him chocolates, anything.
Bribe him, yeah.
Anything you can do.
7:38 is the time right now. Still ahead here on Good Morning Arizona. March is National Craft Month, so we're going to be checking out some fun spring break crafting projects that you can do with your kids.
Fun. And talk about a tough delivery here. One woman in California gives birth to a 14-pound baby. You won't want to miss this story when we come back.
Welcome back, everyone. Catching up with the health headlines this morning. There's a nationwide drug shortage that could mean life or death for some patients. EMT and ambulances around the U.S. are suffering from a lack of anti-seizure drugs. Intravenous Valium, Versed, and Avitan are among the medicines running out. Last year, the FDA tracked around 220 shortages. Now, for now, these medicines are being replaced by similar drugs in order to avoid running out. Women with failing hearts are said to live longer than men with the same condition. New research finds the percentage of women who died of heart failure is slightly lower than men. The facts come from 31 studies across Europe involving 40,000 heart failure patients. Although there were far fewer women involved in the study than men, this is still the largest analysis to look at gender's impact on heart failure deaths. Bottoms up, but only for the ladies. A new study finds those who drink low to moderate amounts of alcohol actually reduce their risk of stroke, I should say. Scientists found that women who drank a glass of wine a day were 21% less likely to have a stroke. But wait before filling up another glass, because the study also finds drinking more wouldn't do women any better. A woman in Southern California, she has a lot to be proud of this morning, just gave birth to a baby who weighs almost 14 pounds. That's right, 14 pounds. I had to double check that. Jaden Singler was initially said to be about maybe 9 pounds. That's what doctors at least thought. But after a while, that number quickly grew. The doctor who delivered him says he's the biggest baby he's ushered into the world in more than 50 years. And mom's first reaction after the C-section, how did he fit? Both are scheduled to go home soon, and they are doing just fine. So welcome to the world. Let's check in with Brittany now, who is live this morning at the Phoenix Art Museum, where I have a feeling you'll be getting to taste test a lot later today, this morning.
Good morning. I'm just going to take it away. I can barely hear you guys this morning, unfortunately. We are live here at the Doran Sculpture Garden. That's at the Phoenix Art Museum. And we have Vernon and Helen with us, and you're from AJ's, and you're from a new addition to AJ's, and that's Columbus Salumeria.
I'm with Columbus Foods. We're based out in San Francisco, and we're being exclusively sold at AJ's Bistro now here in Phoenix.
And what can we expect from you guys?
Great quality meats. All our meats are gluten-free, no MSG, and 0 trans fat.
Well, that's cool, especially the gluten-free thing, because that is, you know, a big movement right now. A lot of people are allergic. Now, this is going to be one of the booths out here. So many great restaurants are going to be here at Devoured, the big food festival. You can combine it with, you know, the art exhibits in there, and it's just a wonderful afternoon. And you brought some really nice food with you today. What did you bring with you?
Yes, we did. Well, Columbus challenged us to come up with recipes using their products, so we created a pork loin slider with peach relish, cilantro lime aioli, and fried onions. And then another dish we made was calabrese, salami, grilled pear, citrus gastrique salad over the microgreens with fresh goat cheese.
That looks fantastic. And then look at all those desserts right there. Which desserts did you bring with you?
Oh, we brought some eclairs, some cannolis, you know, miniature peach pies, fruit tarts, little red velvet cupcakes. I mean, it goes on and on. They're just all so little delicious.
All right. So if you are looking for something to do today, and art's your thing, and great food and wine, come on out to Devoured. It starts at 11 a.m. The price of the door is $79. The other thing that's really great is that on Sunday, today, they're going to have different chefs that are going to be taking the Sub-Zero Wolf demonstration stage. So Chef Justin Beckett from Beckett's Table is going to be here. Also Chef James Porter from Petite Maison in Scottsdale. You name it, they have all the top chefs that are going to be coming out. They're a different set between yesterday and today. So if you come out today and you were here yesterday, you'll have different booths that are out here that you can try. And once again, it starts at 11, goes until 3 o'clock, and we hope you come on out and join us. Let's go and get a look at your weather temperatures today. Starting off right now at 51 degrees, we are going to see light winds right now out of the southeast at 9 miles per hour. Also, our humidity is at 38%. Closer look across the valley, temperatures ranging between the 40s and 50s, 47 in Surprise, 52 in Anthem, 48 in Deer Valley, and then 50 degrees in Gilbert. It's a little bit cooler in Maricopa with temperatures in the high 30s, but everyone's going to warm up nicely today throughout the valley and really throughout the state. We expect temperatures to be above average. We are seeing a few clouds moving in from the west. We have a storm system that is pushing into the Pacific Northwest, bringing rain and snow. And that area of low pressure that was sitting over New Mexico is slowly starting to depart and move off to the northeast. Highs around the state today look pretty good out there, definitely above average for us. We are going to warm into the 80s along the Colorado River, 53 in Flagstaff, 57 at the Grand Canyon, and then temperatures in Safford at 71 degrees. Take a look at your 7-day forecast. I think you're really going to enjoy it because temperatures are going to stay into the 80s. We'll warm to the 80s today and then stay in the low 80s heading into next week. Plenty of sunshine expected. We'll see a few clouds moving in on Wednesday and then again at the end of your work week. But if you are hungry and you want some really good food, coming out to Devallard Culinary Classic, and that's at the Phoenix Art Museum. Starts at 11 a.m. and I know a lot of people are going to be coming out today because the weather is so nice. They're looking for something fun to do outdoors, and this is it. So we'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, can't wait till all those booths are filled with delicious food from all over the valley. Thank you, Brittany. Well, did you know that March is National Craft Month? So for this month, that's what we're featuring every weekend. And this weekend also kicks off spring break for a lot. So we have a local crafter, Kathy Canuel, mom of 2 boys, with us, joining us this morning for some fun spring break crafting ideas that really kids of all ages can do. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
This all started because you're actually also a jewelry maker, but you do this crafting with your boys.
Yes.
I love it. Show us what you're gonna do, what you're gonna make. You're using clay as your base.
Yes, this is polymer clay. It's kid-friendly. It's non-toxic. It's really easy to work with. And all we do is we're just texturing it with rubber stamps.
And you end up with this stuff. Now, where do you find these? Is it sold like this in a little square of clay?
Yes, it's Joanne Fabric and Crafts or
Okay.
Michael's or Hobby Lobby, just any of those local craft stores.
You can tell I don't craft very much. I'm like, I've never seen this. All right, and there's different brands, or is this a particular brand you like?
I like that brand in particular because it is just easiest to work with. It's not overly sticky. It bakes the best.
Okay. So you open up the package, and what have you done here?
Yeah, you can take some pieces off. You knead it, form a little ball. It's just as easy as that.
Okay.
And then, in order to make these pieces here, we'll just press on it with the palm of your hand and kind of the heel of your hand and just get in there a little bit. Some kids actually never get past this part. They just have so much fun squashing it, you know?
They're just like, keep making little balls and keep, it's sort of like Play-Doh.
Yes,
That's
exactly. And then you can just take your fingers and go over the surface to remove any prints and make it nice and smooth. And just take your stamp and stamp right into it. And then to make these holes, you can just use the bottom of a drinking straw.
Okay.
And I cut the bottom off, and I made it slightly shorter than a toothpick. And here, I'll cut this little hole. And then sometimes it comes up, sometimes it stays. But if it gets stuck in there, oh, there it did.
You're making this look way too easy.
It really is easy. It feels like you're cheating. You just poke this right out, and then you can use the same cutter again.
Okay.
And then when you're ready to bake these, you can bake it in your home oven in a setup similar to this.
So do you have to have a piece of tile? Because I noticed you're working on a piece of tile here.
It's just a working surface. You can bake it on a tile, or I just didn't want to mess up your counter. So, or you can use cardstock or something like that.
Okay.
But you bake
Did you
like
use like wax paper? I'm trying to think of what you'd have in the kitchen. Any wax paper or anything like that?
Yeah, or cardstock or parchment paper, things like that. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can bake it like this in a couple of pie plates like this and seal the edges. This keeps the clay residue from getting into your oven and then later baking into your food.
Oh,
because
okay.
it is non-toxic, but you don't want to eat it.
Sure.
You know, so that's
you want to definitely cover it.
Right.
Okay.
So you cover it up and seal it.
Okay.
And then any tools that you use with the clay, you shouldn't use again for food, which is why I like to use things like drinking straws and little things like that.
you can throw out.
And once it's baked, you can antique it or accent it with paint. Just put the paint into the recesses.
So this is what it looks like when it comes out of the oven. It'll be baked and look like this piece. I'm just going to hold it up so we can get a better look at it.
And then you accent it, and you just push the clay into the recesses, wipe off the excess, and there's this awesome contrast. Just amazing texture.
And look at the different things you've done with them.
There's some more showing of the contrast and the difference between the painted and the unpainted.
So you could use black, you could use white, whatever colors you want.
You feel like using.
And I just have to show this because I know the boys probably wouldn't like this so much, but girls can make jewelry with these pieces or pendants or anything you want. This is just a whole bunch of those round pieces.
This is the exact technique that I just showed, and obviously it's a little bit more advanced construction. But really a super easy way to make a necklace is to just take a piece of ribbon or a piece of cord, you know, if it's for a boy, a cord or a string, and you can take the ribbon and push a fold through.
You are making this way too easy, Kathy.
It seriously is as easy as it looks.
And it kills me because people sell this for so much. Sometimes you see them in the store, so I love it.
Well, this is very easy. Some of the stuff is really, truly complex. And beautiful, beautiful work that people do, artists.
You know what I'm thinking here? Mother's Day gifts or for gifts for grandma or aunts. Perfect for the kids to do. Yes, I love it. Kathy, thank you so much. Kathy has a blog where you can learn about some of her ideas and some of her instructions on how to make all this beautiful jewelry, other crafts. We'll have it all on azfamily.com. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And exciting because I know your work has been published in several magazines, so continued success.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Stay with us, folks. Much more still ahead. In our community corner, they do more than just clean teeth. How dentists are now teaming up with doctors to play a greater role in your overall health. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody. The next time you open wide at the dentist's office, you may be in for more than just a teeth cleaning. As 3TV's Lesley Peña finds out, dentists are now teaming up with physicians to play a greater role in your overall health.
When the daily grind has you on the go, a trip to the doctor can easily take a back seat.
I go to my primary care physician every couple years.
I see my primary care physician maybe annually.
According to a recent study, 20 million Americans saw not their doctor, but their dentist in 2008. That's why a growing number of dentists are looking at more than just your mouth, carrying out basic medical screenings that were once reserved for the physician's office.
The mouth is a gateway to the human body. So dentists are in a position to detect diseases early on, such as diabetes, heart disease.
Blood pressure testing is also becoming more common.
Even before I get my cleaning, I get my blood pressure taken.
Dr. Jason McCarger at Scottsdale Dental Arts monitors patients like Marisa at every appointment. And while her blood pressure is normal,
we encounter patients with high blood pressure daily. There have been times in the past where we've actually not been able to do the procedure as scheduled and have actually had to refer a patient to the ER.
There's even oral swabbing for HIV and hepatitis, and the treatment doesn't stop there.
It is very important for us to openly communicate consistently with our colleagues who are primary care physicians.
And to keep that line of communication open with patients. It's a prescription for good health Marisa is all smiles about.
It is nice knowing that I am taken care of, and it is comforting.
Well, that was Lesley Peña reporting there. The American Dental Association does not have a stance on chair-side exams, but says checking blood pressure may be important depending on the patient and the type of procedure. Hey, if you know somebody out there making a difference in our community, we'd love to share their story on azfamily.com. You can get in touch with us there. You can email or Facebook me. Well, we're just getting warmed up here on Good Morning Arizona. Coming up in our 8 o'clock hour, Dr. Art Mullen is in the house with us with this week's top health stories, plus tips for parents to talk with your teens about alcohol just in time for prom and spring break. And Wally bears his soul with this week's Car of the Week. We'll also catch you up on the morning's top news headlines, including the latest on negotiations to end a bus driver strike in the Valley. And Brittany will have a look at your weekend forecast when Good Morning Arizona comes back.